Hello, everyone, and welcome to round 4 commentary of the SuperNationals. I'm WGM Sabina Foisor, very excited to bring you back another round. I don't know how exciting it will be, but I am very happy to be here. Great to see many of you back on stream, and I'm looking forward to see even more of you. Even more of you here. Let me know where you're watching from. If you happen to be in the Skittles room of the SuperNationals, take a picture, send it to me, tag me on social media if you prefer. Anything that will make me miss being in Florida a little bit less. I just have to say, like every time, very thankful to US Chess for bringing me back to do commentary for the tournament. And I certainly hope you're enjoying my advice. I try to make these as instructional and educational as possible. And if you feel that I'm missing a moment or that I'm blundering, because we all do, like I said earlier today, I think I should lose my rating in commentary and try to gain some face-to-face over the board. That would be nice if I'd actually be able to do that. But hopefully we all blunder while we're analyzing, and we reduce those blunders over the board. It's great to see that America's future talents are being trained very well. They've all of them through the years that I've done commentary for these tournaments. I've seen many of the names, growing and increasing their ratings and fighting for the top places. So it makes me very happy to see that is a positive turn, and I hope it continues that way. I also want to say once again, thank you so much to Precision Tune Auto Care, specifically to David and Maureen Grimond for their continuous support for chess. This stream is supported by them, and I kind of made this things to say that it helps us keep running the stream in a smooth fashion, the same as their business helps cars run smoothly on the road. I don't know if it makes sense or not, but I thought it sounded good when I thought about it. But anyways, very thankful to them. This is the first time that we're covering every single round of the event, and it makes me happy because I see more games, more ideas, more tactical ideas, more calculation exercises. And right before going on stream, in fact, after I went live, I finished reading the first news report of day 1 of the SuperNationals, and I'm super proud of JJ for writing that. I want to give him a big shout out. Like, I'm very proud of you, JJ. And for those of you who want to check it out, be sure to click on the link for Chess Life Online, and the article that was just last article being posted. You can find it on US Chess social media accounts, Facebook and Twitter, and of course I shared the link, so you can go through the link. Don't forget to follow US Chess on the different social media accounts to stay notified when something important is happening, when there may be some potential applications, some tournaments. You can find a lot of information on the website, but also through social media. There's a lot of posts on things, daily news, and yeah, the latest article is really great. I tried to contribute with a few positions, my favorite positions from the stream that I liked from day 1, and I'll try my best to keep up within the breaks that we'll be having. I'll try to keep up and add a few more from each round for tomorrow's report. So stay tuned for JJ's report. And if you happen to see him on site, don't miss the chance to maybe share one of your stories. Who knows? Maybe it'll be featured in his next article. Or if you have a game that you're interested in, don't miss the opportunity to share it with us, like either me, JJ, National Master Brian Tillis, John Hardman, who is also quite awesome, by the way. He is the chief editor of the Chess Life magazine, and he's also on site. So if you see any of them, I'm not there, but you can send me a message with your game, and I'll be sure to comment on stream. Okay. With that said, just a reminder for those of you who are watching from Florida, there are a couple of things that are happening today and a little bit later today. So at 2 p.m., you'll have the opportunity to join and challenge Grandmaster Leinier Dominguez on site once again. He will be on from 2 to 3 p.m. in the Skittles room, one of those areas that are, you know where they're taking place if you're there. And then from 3:30 to 5:30, Women Grandmaster and International Master, 3 times U.S. Women's Champion Carissa Yip will be taking on newcomers. And I saw earlier today she was actually trying to take on Grandmaster Awonder Liang. I don't know what happened in those games or if it was just one. But if you know, let me know in the chat also. It would be nice to know how she's done. Of course, a very besides, there's a lot of booths in the Skittles room. Don't miss your chance to say hi to the staff from the World Chess Hall of Fame or St. Louis Chess Club. I'm not sure if it's both or just World Chess Hall of Fame. Chess Kid is present there. I'm not sure what all of their assigned days are, but you should definitely check it out. I understand H1 is also doing game analysis for kids whose rating is below 1300, so you can find him to look at your games too. Girls Club room, where you will be able to meet some great female chess players who do a wonderful job at promoting chess and empowering other women to stay in the game. Very thankful for all the volunteers who make that room run smoothly throughout the entire event. Some of them are my very good friends, and I'm just I wish I'm there in spirit. It's always a pleasure being there. So if you happen to have a daughter who is on site, don't miss the chance to bring her there to enjoy some of the activities. And I hear Fun Master Mike will also be on site for pictures. Lecture with Grandmaster Elshan Moradiabadi at 4:15 p.m. today, and that kind of concludes some of the top guests. However, there's one more important thing that I let at last because it's the most important one. I didn't want to miss it. From 4 to 5 p.m. there'll be a book signing with former women's world champion Susan Polgar, and it's at 4 p.m. So what I'm gonna do today, possibly, I'm actually gonna share that special video that I mentioned, the special interview that National Master Brian Tillis, the manager, the marketing manager, I always mess up his title, of US Chess. He's going to well, he already interviewed Susan, but he's had I think a beautiful interview that I definitely want all of you guys to listen to if you have the opportunity to do that. I think you're going to enjoy it. So I want to make sure I play that before Susan's book signing. That way, in case you haven't purchased her book yet, you can do so and then ask for a signature. So Brian's title is Marketing and Communications Manager. I always remember marketing manager, and I don't remember communications, probably because my communication has been lacking sometimes. Well, don't tell him that. All right, let us get ready to catch up with some of the games from the previous round. I had to stop the stream a bit to take a bit of break and maybe catch on some lunch, which I don't know how that happened, but it happened. But let's see, what have we missed? So this, I think, was definitely one of my favorite moments, and looking at the finish of this game was actually kind of sad for me, because White was on a verge of winning potentially, and then things changed, and in the end actually the game turned around. It was Black who ended up winning this game, so we didn't see the finish. In this position, White went for the move Bishop takes c6. Instead of that, Rook takes c6 would have brought White a beautiful position, because in case we recapture, which you kind of have to, and we just want some material, right? You Bishop takes. By the way, if you're capturing here, Queen takes a1, then you have to be a bit careful with the king not to get in too much trouble. Maybe this check could be unpleasant. Move the rook to c7, knight to c3. White's just getting some nice initiative, while Black's queen will be trapped over here. So if you capture the rook, Bishop takes, and you make a king move, right? Where else are you going to go? You cannot go king f8, because this is going to be a checkmate. So you need to go king to e7. And now Bishop takes a8. And okay, with Black, you probably can find some slightly better moves. This probably won't work as great, because we can give a check on knight c3. But if you capture here the rook, we were analyzing earlier that White could play the move knight c3. So it's a nice move of regrouping, completing the development, locking in the queen in a1, and despite being down an exchange, we have a pawn as part of compensation, and then Black's king being out in the open, it would give White some nice follow-up to bring in new pieces into the game. So the knight comes closer, the bishop can come back to c6, but probably White might have been worried that Black would bring in the rook into the game, I guess, and maybe wasn't sure how everything would continue. But we always have a few geometrical ideas that you have to be mindful about. If you are, then White should be doing really well. Unfortunately, after this, this happened, White is up a pawn, but somehow has misplayed this quite a lot. We were talking about a potential idea for Black to go rook e5 and g5 here, but it seems that Black was able to actually create a passed pawn. Look at this. And now the pawn marched, and somehow White, I was mentioning how White's pawns are more advanced than Black's, but somehow it was Black who ended up being the one who advanced even more. And White went for a mate, but never got the chance to do it. I think he was thinking he might bring in the rook to mate, but the thing is, Black's king escapes. And also, you can't just bring it just yet. So I wonder if that's what White missed. And then, okay, now the g-pawn is just a monster. Black promoted, and the game concluded soon after. So this was definitely one of those tough ones. Turnarounds, but I hope the player with the white pieces, Yuze Owen, is going to get himself, together over that game, forget about it, and just focus at the next round. It's tough when you have a lot of games to, and especially if you lose, to let go of the one that just finished. But if you don't do that, you're going to be thinking the next round at it again and put pressure on yourself, tell yourself that you weren't good, and those negative thoughts really affect you. It is very important to try to let them go. There are lessons to be learned from every single tournament, but they have to be learned as the tournament, after the tournament finishes, in my opinion. Of course, if there's an opening mistake that you made, you need to learn it immediately so that you don't do the same thing in the next round. But if it's something that you blundered later, in the game. If you made a mistake in an end game, or if you missed a tactic, you miscalculated, you didn't consider a resource for the opponent, or so many other reasons, those have to be well analyzed and talked about after the tournament is over, so that your mind and your focus is simply on the tournament and the rounds at hand. So if you have the opportunity to do that, please do so. Now here, this is a beautiful game by Brew. I really liked this game, and I don't know how many more times I can show this idea, but I think I will. I think Brew has gotten a new fan, if he didn't have already many of the youngsters these days, because I think he's certainly an inspiration for the young generation for having made it to GM. So this move order for white is basically a way to play a Nimzo Indian with reverse colors. And with black, if you're just going to play typically how white would play this and develop the knight to c6, you will allow white to go bishop b5, and that's exactly what they want, what they're hoping for. So what you're going to do is, instead of doing that, you're going to play the move that Brew played here, which is f6. So I really like this move because it restricts the knight to go to e5. Although it weakens the position a bit, it also gives black opportunities to develop the knight like that, or maybe just play e6 or maybe e5, depending on how white chooses to set up their pieces. With white choosing to go d4, now obviously you're not going to go e5. You will make sure that you keep a solid position, and then the way the game actually continued, it transposed to a queen's gambit exchange variation with reverse colors. So this is what happened. Takes, white developed their bishops, and now e6. So this may, if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me just play it out to see. This is what I'm talking about. Bishop g5, bishop e7, e3, something, 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 like this, right? White castles, plays f3, queen c2, the bishop is brought here, and eventually white will prepare to go e4. If you can make that transfer in your head, you will realize that we're talking about the same position with reverse colors over here. So Brew managed to take the bishop out, and now after c4, h3, the bishop comes back towards f7 castle, and black will prepare to go for e5. Now, in this position was the first move that surprised me, that white did not develop their knight. Instead, they tried to go for the bishop trade, but at this point with the bishop in h5, black does have the retreat in f7. So it seemed to me that it was just kind of a bit of a waste of time, because white doesn't develop, and it helps black bring the bishop to the square where he wanted to bring it in the first place. After a3 castle, white made the next quite big positional concession, and that was the move c5. When you play this move c5, what happens is you get rid of your pressure in d5. When you had the pawn here and you kept the pressure, this reduced the possibility of black to play e5, because then the trade would happen and black could just end up trading a bunch of pieces. But by pushing here, this idea to play e5 just comes naturally. There's no pressure in d5 whatsoever. Also, a bit of waste of time, as I mentioned, with the knight here, so it doesn't quite help. But the way things went, just f takes e5, knight takes e5. Here, I loved Brew's setup. So he has the two central pawns, and he just needs to get ready to push them forward, while getting some pieces ready to put pressure on white's king, right? This bishop can also come back here or here to put pressure on the diagonal. The rook opens up, and white has tried to make some trades, although the engine didn't like that move. I think it was suggesting this one instead. But d4, I felt that it was good because e4 is a move that's coming for black. Queen c2. here. And I love the finish. Look at that. Knight d4. Oh, sorry, let me. And now get ready for a beautiful idea. Very, very beautiful idea by Brewington. That was a beautiful idea. Yes. And well, after bishop e3, knight f3 check. Bishop takes, and now knight takes e1. His opponent resigned because now, you know, there's a lot of pieces hanging. If you take the queen, then we'll take in f3 with check. You cannot take the knight because the queen is hanging. The rook has opened up. The queen is looking towards white's king. Those pawns were just so menacing. And this pawn is also quite strong. I don't think I talked about what happens after this move. This just came to mind, but I feel that black has so many good ways to continue here. I mean, can just take, how much extra material do we have? An exchange and a pawn. So that's a lot to consider resigning. Very beautiful finish for sure. What other game did I enjoy a lot? Oh, this was another beautiful moment by Nico. The position was quite balanced here. You know, white has a bit more space, but they do have certainly this weakness, and black doesn't have any. So in order to be able to outplay the opponent or improve the position further, you need to find some ways to break through the position. And white didn't quite have much in here yet, but black should have played f5. You cannot just stay and do nothing with the black pieces, because, you know, they can even consider getting the pawns pushed even further. But this was a nice way for black to approach the position, because now if you push, then the rook will have a retreat. We kind of stabilize things in the center, so we should be good to go. If trades happen, of course, this rook comes back into play and attacks. If it doesn't, we take. Now, instead of that, black made positional concessions. Since we're talking about positional concessions so far, we're gonna look at all those moments, right? So now d5, and the rook in b5 is kind of trapped, and white has various ways to try to trap it. Nico went for knight b2, followed by c4 and knight d3, and that rook had no escape, right? And even if black would have played in this position after knight d7, after knight b2, if he had played a c6, let's say, we would still play knight d3. And if you capture, we still have c4 coming in the next move, and the rook is trapped. Those were kind of my favorite moments. I'm gonna just take a quick sneak peek. No, the games did not start yet, so okay. And then we also had what was another position I liked? I think, oh, I already showed this one. I think it was in the oh, this was a nice one. This was in the middle school championship K-8. So what happened here basically is, was more actually further, where Brian brought in the pawn to attack white's king, and it makes a lot of sense, right? Because his pieces are looking towards this direction. He's got the bishop there. He needs to try to open up the position. And after knight f3, things got traded, and bishop h3 was played. Now white made what seemed to be the most natural response, could just go rook e1, and probably felt that, you know, things would be fine. But they were not, because look at this beautiful follow-up. Opened up the position, rook takes a4, and after queen took, rook takes f3. So black was able to win 2 pieces for the rook, and white's king remained weak. And now black simply activated his queen, and f2 is falling. This was a very nice endgame. There was a game I really wanted to show you. I think this was the one. No, this wasn't it. I think it was in okay, this was a nice win by Tariq. The position did not give black very much advantage, and a3 was the move that was played, and rook takes e1, queen takes e1, and queen f4. This was the way for black to win the pawns. Tariq found it quite relatively fast, took advantage that queen f2 is not possible due to this check, and the bishop is lost. And after he won the pawn, he was able to convert without much trouble. I don't think we looked at this game much. This looks like a nice finish. Oh, I didn't see this one. Look at this cute finish. Queen takes f6, and there's gonna be a bishop, queen h6, queen h8 mate. This is a nice one. I hadn't seen it. Oh, the Lev game was certainly quite a nice touch. Lev was putting pressure on black's king, and black felt that g6 was necessary to stop the mate. But you know, when you push a pawn forward, you gotta think exactly at all the weaknesses you are creating. Sometimes it's not a weakness that you are creating. Sometimes it's a hook, and typically pawn pushes around the king do create hooks. And in this case, after g6, f5 was played by Lev, and after bishop takes f5, of course you guys are going to be ready to tell me the next move because it's so beautiful. Bam, let's go. It's been a while since I've seen exchange sacrifices like this. So we just take, pawn takes, queen takes, threatening checkmate in 2 moves. Black tried to trade the queens, but after the check and bishop f5, knight d7 or bishop d7 is coming. Since queen e8 was played, bishop d7 was played. Black resigned in view of this mate, or if the queen would have moved to d8, queen takes f7. So this was kind of a nice finish by Lev. This was also quite cute. So in this position, white felt the pressure of black's menacing rook and queen, and he ended up playing a3. But now after the knight took in c3, it was just a little bit left until white was going to black was going to capitalize on the advantage. Knight took in c3. Now this is a mate, and material loss and a dominating pawn there in c4. It just took black a few more moves to be able to outplay his opponent. Look at that, check and rook d1. Oh, Sasha's had a brilliant game. Sasha has had some very nice games. It was from around this moment that we're looking at this game, and I felt white definitely needed to bring in the knight into the game. I was suggesting g4, g5 due to the hook. But Sasha brought in another piece, and though the engine doesn't like it, it's a very natural human move that you want to make to improve your position. And now after bishop d7, knight h4, black played the move f5. So it is time to find a way to open black's king, otherwise you just brought in a bunch of pieces and you have nothing. So what did white do? They play g4. After the capture, takes, g5 was played, and now g takes f5. Gave up the knight in h4. Black did not capture it because it would lead to some very unpleasant situations there. Black took, and now queen takes h6. Take the knight once again, he said, and black did. And now it is time to bring new pieces. We obviously have the bishop, both of the bishops and the queen, but we need another major piece. So king h1, prophylactic idea to bring in the rook to g1, and now the queen was won, and Sasha went on to win the game. This was kind of a sad, blunder here for Joseph Veronique, because like h3 is an issue. I mean, you probably have to take this pawn and be okay with it. There's nothing wrong with that. But unfortunately, after this, queen e4 threatens the mate, and you only have one way to protect, which is knight e1, because if you go knight f4, you're actually going to get back rank mated. So after knight e1 was played, queen takes e2, and now, you know, with a pawn down and another one falling, a2 is also weak. Black went on to win this game. I'm trying to find that one that we were looking at a lot with someone in the chat. I think it was Elliot's game. Was it this, the one? There was that beautiful, yeah, I think this was the one. If you guys remember, around here somewhere we're talking about this game, and yeah, this was actually quite a brilliant. Was it here? Yes, in this position. Like, this was the moment that I wanted to make sure I discussed once again as we're waiting for the moves to come for round 5. For round 4, I'm sorry. I'm ahead. Round 5 will be played later today. But here, after knight takes e5, there was this gorgeous idea that the chat brought to my attention. And that was, white could have taken advantage of the fact that black stays on some tactical ideas and is not ready to actually open white's king, and they could have gone for this gorgeous rook takes e5, and after pawn takes d6. And be aware that after the recapture, no, we're not taking d6, and no, we're not taking b6. Those are two pawns that you might consider taking. You might think, well, free pawn. Well, not really free. You sacrifice an exchange and you want to get something back. But no, that is not happening. We are going to play this gorgeous move, knight to d5. I mean, this is something that I'm going to post at some point once I actually catch a break. Because this was definitely a beautiful tactical idea that could have happened, and you don't have an escape with black. Knight b6 is coming, rook c1 is coming, black's king is in trouble. If you capture, of course, the queen is attacked as well. If you capture, queen takes, the queen is threatening to go to a8, the knight comes to b6, rook comes here, white is on the way to win. So unfortunately that was missed, and I don't know if we saw the ending of this game actually. Okay, white is up. White was able to win this or no? Okay, now white is winning. Oh no! No! What is king d4? No! White needs to come back to f2. Brilliant! Oh my god, black found this brilliancy. Rook takes e4. Draws the game. What? You have to take with the king. I think if you take with the pawn, you can't stop this. This pawn is promoting, and I don't think you can draw this. I mean, it's gonna be difficult, of course. White can take the knight and we'll have rook and a bunch of pawns for the queen, but very likely black has chances to win. Like, going from a lost position to that. Oh my god, due to the time trouble, black ended up playing this move. Oh no. Oh, this is sad. Do you guys know, wait, this is a blunder. Why is this a blunder? And this was the move that black had to play, and then can just go back and forth here, and it would have been a draw. Wow, that was luck. You're wondering what luck is? This is what luck is in chess. Someone gets super lucky, someone unfortunately gets unlucky. It's like you can't. Oh, yeah. Oh no! It hurts! I feel for Daniel for missing this. And good one for Elliot and for catching it on time. So this is a huge blunder because now after King D7, calculation, hey, you're back! You are back, Arab meat. How are you doing? Great to see you back. You must be enjoying this, because, you know, people who don't enjoy my commentary, they're not coming back. Oh my god, this is so sad. This is sad, because now when you promote, there's this move. This is the only reason why it can take the knight. If black had stayed there, like, he has to control the D file for the rook not to go behind. Oh, yeah. Painful. I've had these moments too. It's okay. It's okay. Like I said earlier, we gotta forget about it. There's a new round, which started 15 minutes ago. Let's go. Focus, like one of my friends says, lock in. I don't even know what it means, but it's just, this statement is in my mind. Like, I can't get it out of my mind now. Lock in is just something I heard recently. I guess that is the way of saying be super focused, but, you know. Wait, the rounds should have started at 1:30. The games should be posted soon. So, it's 1:48. Okay, so I think I do want to play the interview. I do want to play Susan Polgar's interview with the one and only marketing and communication manager at US Chess National Master Brian Tillis. Oh, looks like they had a Q&A already. I see Susan has posted. Wow. Nice. Well, since we already had the Q&A, how about we see more of Brian and Susan? Let me see when her book signing is again, just to make sure. I want to have it play fully before the book signing. Book signing is at 4 p.m. 4 to 5 p.m. in the Skittles. Are you guys ready to watch I think the games, anyways, at the beginning, like the first, the video is about 30 to 40 minutes. So I think that Brew starts back to B3. I can't wait to watch this again. But that is what we're going to do, my friends. We are going to play through Brian's interview with Susan. And that interview is, let me check how long it is. think it was about 40 minutes or something. About 30 minutes. That would be perfect. By that time, the players will have made moves, quite a lot of moves. We will be able to see some developments. We'll be able to see interesting openings, and we won't miss a bit. But I would like you guys to have the opportunity to check out their interview on stream now. So for the first time ever, before it's going to show up on US Chess YouTube, which is going to be a longer version, but I wanted to share it with you guys now. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. I'll be here if you have questions in the chat, you see something interesting in any of the games. The live boards are pinned to the chat, but let's enjoy Brian's interview with the one and only former women's world champion grandmaster Susan Polgar. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I'll be back once that video is over. Let's hope it plays. Let me know if it plays also in the chat to make sure that we're on the right page, and let's go.
Welcome to the special edition of One Move at a Time. I am Brian Tillis, and I am here with a legend of chess. She was world number 1 at 15, a Triple Crown world champion of classical, rapid, and blitz, a 5-time Olympic champion. She's in the Chess Hall of Fame, and who better to interview at SuperNationals than GM Susan Polgar, who checks every box as she is a professional chess player, coach, and parent. Thank you for joining us, Susan.
My pleasure. Nice to be here.
And as a big proponent of active learning, I've got one of my favorite tactics books of all time that I've been using for the better part of a decade now, myself and with my students, Chess Tactics for Champions. We're going to have tactics cycling throughout the interview, and at the end, I'll give those answers to the students as well. But that's not the book I really want to talk about. It's definitely this one, Rebel Queen. And I've been slowly making my way through the book, and my first impression is that with putting in hours and hours of hard work, really nothing is impossible. So I'd like you first to tell us about the book.
Yes, indeed. That's exactly the message of the book, that if you have a passion for something, you really want it badly enough, you're willing to work hard at it for a long period of time, nothing is impossible, and I'm the living proof of it.
Absolutely. And what age range would you recommend for the book?
Well, the book I think is ideal for young people, I would say starting 9-10 years old, as well as parents who can read it together with their children and get an inspiration that, yes, even someone who became eventually a world champion lost plenty of games early on, had plenty of disappointments, roadblocks, difficulties, challenges, and just as in life itself, neither was in my career things just all a walk in the park or all smooth, so be prepared for life, be prepared that you're not going to win every single game. It's just part of the journey, it's part of growing, and I'm hoping that with this book, people can get inspired and motivated and gain a bit of self-confidence that just because the tournament didn't work out or a game didn't work out, it doesn't mean that eventually they cannot become a champion.
And I've really loved the candid nature of the book. It's really a tell-all. You very much feel like the great story from Queen's Gambit, where you feel as if you're there a lot of the times. And I just wanted to compliment the emotion behind the book, because I could definitely see in the future that this is something that could potentially be cinema for us to enjoy, like the Queen's Gambit.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate the kind comment. And indeed, actually, one of the reasons I wrote the book right now and not before and not later, because when Queen's Gambit, the Netflix series, came out, obviously chess was all over in mainstream media, and I got approached by many asking whether the series were based on my life story, given that I was the first woman to earn the men's grandmaster title, and being a pioneer in a male-dominated field as chess, just like the heroine Beth Harmon in Queen's Gambit. And while indeed the series is not based on my life story, it's based on a fictional character, I was told that, well, even though it's not based on you, there should be a movie made on your story. And when I started talking to Hollywood people, I understood that, as typical, they'd like to start things the way they want to and sensationalize certain aspects and so on. And if I wanted to have some kind of control of how my life story will be presented in an eventual movie, I should be having my memoirs being written. So then the movie, if it happens one day, can be based on my book, on how things actually happen.
Yes, and what I noticed too is with this concept of hard work, I'm really curious how you've been able to personally stay motivated. Is going back to, say, 2004, when you represented the United States in the Olympiad, I believe it had been 8 years, and taking that type of layoff and then coming back with such excellence. I'm curious how you were able to stay motivated.
Well, what happened was in 2002, I got approached by the then executive director of the U.S. Chess Federation, Mr. Frank Nero, that he realized that at the time they had less than 1% of the membership being female at the U.S. Chess Federation. And he wanted to change that, and he figured that I was already living in the U.S., of course, and I could be instrumental in helping promoting chess for girls and women in the country. It was just around the time when Mia Hamm did a tremendous job for the same for women's soccer in the U.S. after they won the World Cup for women. And that's when he encouraged me to found the Susan Polgar Foundation, and we started working on various projects, including the U.S. Women's Olympiad Training Program, which eventually led to Olympic medals for the team as well as me individually. And it was really part of a bigger picture, and that's what motivated me. Ever since I moved to the US, I understood that chess doesn't get its proper recognition, respect compared to other mainstream sports, let it be basketball or golf or tennis or others. And athletes, as chess players, get rewarded by a fraction of the top athletes of those sports. And I felt something needed to be done about that. So I was hoping that if we're successful at the Chess Olympiad in 2004, that will help this effort of getting chess more recognized, more mainstream, and more specifically also get more girls and women involved in chess or stay in chess. And that's how my foundation was born back in 2002, and that's why I came out of retirement as well in 2004 to help this mission. So it wasn't the goal wasn't for me to win another few Olympiad medals. The goal was a lot larger, bigger mission beyond me. It was really trying to get our beloved game more recognized and respected and rewarded.
And with that bigger mission in mind, as a coach, you've worked with a wide range of players, from your collegiate students at Texas Tech and Webster to up-and-coming youth talents like Awonder, who is one of our GM guests at SuperNationals. What piece of advice would you give to coaches working with a young student who's an obvious talent to nurture their development most efficiently?
Well, I think it's really what's most important from a coach's perspective, and perhaps that was the key ingredient, secret ingredient to my success as a coach, is that I always looked at each student as an individual, and I was trying to tailor the best I could the training methods and the exercises based to their needs rather than a one-size-fits-all approach. And I think that's really, really important, because each of my students really has different strengths and weaknesses, and that's not just on the technical aspect of the game, but also from the psychological aspect of the game. And I think one element that perhaps not all coaches focus enough on is understanding that the success in chess, maybe 50% is about the technical skill and knowledge, but maybe as much as the other 50% is about the X factor, whether how a player handles pressure and how they come back after a tough loss, or how they are fearful or overconfident, or time management. There are so many of these different elements that play a real important role in the success of a player, and that's the hardest part, I think, as a coach, to have the right balance between those things and to address those issues the best way.
And growing up in the era without chess computers and making the transition to, I would say, modern methods of training, we have a right now culture. Like, I want it now, I want to be good now, but I definitely, when talking to a player that experienced the pre-computer age and post-computer age, what's a training method that you feel is widely overlooked, it's something that you would do in the pre-computer age?
Well, pre-computer age was very, very different. We had to rely on our own analysis, instincts, and obviously it came with a lot of inaccuracies and mistakes in our analysis, because we're just human and we make mistakes, right? Just like there were a lot more typos in books before we had the spell check, or in calculations before we had calculators. It's just how it was. Obviously, books had also a more important role than they do today, if you wanted to have knowledge. Although with that said, I still strongly encourage young players to also read books of great players, because the commentaries that they write, how they came to the right conclusions, the thought process, understanding that, I think is really, really important, because chess is clearly not all calculation. While it's certainly a very important part of the game, but it's not the only important part of the game. And of course, chess has different kind of positions, right? Ones where calculation is everything, and ones where you need to trust your instinct and you need to understand the position, and calculation may not help you much at all. And I think there are some excellent books on chess strategy that written by great players such as Boris Gelfand, for example, or some others that can develop that. So I think it's important to utilize both the modern technology with everything that's it offers, whether it's the engines, whether it's opportunities to play online, which is all fantastic. But I think it's also beneficial to find that right balance between the old school technology, such as books, and learn and take your time. And that's, of course, hard when kids today want it now, immediately. And I think it's really important to understand that ultimately for most people, it does not happen overnight. It's a process, it's a journey that typically takes years to really get to where you want to get to, and it's not going to happen in just weeks or months.
And as we're in Florida, and SuperNationals is in Florida, I want to go back to 2005, where you did, at the time, the world's largest simultaneous exhibition, playing 326 games. How did that come about in Palm Beach Gardens?
Oh, that was a lot of fun. It was part of this bigger mission, right? As I mentioned, in 2002, I got approached by the US Chess Federation to try to help encourage more girls get involved in the game, more women stay in the game. And my real dream was to get chess out there. And, just playing at chess tournaments or chess clubs, it doesn't really excite the mainstream audience, people outside of chess. So I wanted to do different things that can get media attention and, get the game being talked about. And that was one of those activities, which indeed got a lot of media attention nationwide and even some internationally, because it was a unique thing. And I was very happy that the mayor's office of Palm Beach Garden and the mall, they were all on board, and it was mainly their efforts and hard work that put it together. I just kind of showed up and did the exhibition, which was, of course, a lot of walking, and over 17 hours and over 9 miles. But ultimately, the local authorities, starting from the mayor's office and chess clubs, everybody involved made it happen, and I'm very thankful they did.
And a big point of passion for you is growing the participation of women and girls in chess. And you're the main factor of why we have multiple invitational tournaments for girls today. And with the recent success of the all-girls national championship, which was a record-breaking attendance, I feel it's important to ask, what advice would you give young women in chess today?
Well, first of all, enjoy chess and then set realistic goals, because there is no one-size-fits-all when it comes to your goals. Some girls may want to be the best, meaning beating the world champion Gukesh. That's probably a small percentage of girls, but whoever has those high dreams, they need to train extremely hard and many hours and get the toughest challenge they can get, just as Gukesh or Magnus Carlsen did earlier. And on the other hand, I think the majority of the girls will not have necessarily those very high dreams, or maybe they may, but they not have the circumstances to make those dreams come true. So there's nothing wrong with that either. So many girls just want to make friends through chess. They want to, grow through chess, because chess has many educational benefits, as we all know. And, yet others, they want to experience the competitive nature of the game and learn many of those skills through chess. Like my motto is win with grace, lose with dignity. So there are many ways to enjoy chess and benefit from chess, in addition to trying to become the very best. But if you want to be that, you have to make similar sacrifices as the boys, as the guys do. Otherwise, obviously, you don't even have a chance to get there.
And In the same vein, what advice would you give to parents?
Well, similarly, as I would for the girls, set realistic goals. Because if your daughter is training in chess 3-5 hours a week, don't expect the success that compared to the other girls or boys who study 3-5 hours a day. So I think what's really important is that set realistic expectations based on your goals, and then set the training schedule accordingly. Because unfortunately, what many times happens, that parents get disappointed, discouraged, and get it in a way out on their kids that how come you didn't win? How come the other kid did better than you while they're not putting in the same kind of effort? And it's not just in the number of hours, but it's also what they do in those hours, right? Because it's a huge difference whether a kid or even an adult is just playing bullet on chess.com, let's say, or any of the platforms, versus somebody studying from books and analyzes their own games, learns from their mistakes, So there is spending time with chess, and there is spending time with chess usefully, which is a huge difference that makes the ultimate difference in the outcome and the result.
Yeah, I can very much appreciate that. I've often had conversations with students about the quality of work that they're putting in, and liken it to a bodybuilder, that if you're only going in and working your left arm out, you're only going to be proficient with your left arm. But your game is very much like a bodybuilder. You've got to work all areas of the game, and especially work on weaknesses and constantly patching holes. I like to see my game as a ship that is constantly sinking, and I'm having to work to just keep it afloat.
And it's a never-ending, fixing, because even the best, and let's say Magnus Carlsen is the first one to admit that he still keeps learning every day, and he understands he has still holes to fix, and it's just never-ending. And as I once read, the people who understand, you're getting somewhere when you understand how much you don't know.
And lastly, in the advice, say, column, advice to coaches, because when I'm working with young coaches, especially these days, the number one complaint that I get is, I'm really struggling to motivate my student. What advice would you give to them?
Well, as I said earlier, I think it's key to set the right goals. And based on that, I think it's really important to make them understand that one game doesn't matter. They need to enjoy the process of learning. They need to enjoy the journey of playing, the fight, the excitement of a tournament, and don't take it too seriously in the sense of the result. Take it seriously in the sense of giving your all, whether it's in training or at the competition, because that's all you can do, and then it will all work itself out. And sometimes you get unlucky, sometimes you may get lucky, but overall, if you try your best, that's the only thing you're controlling. And don't try to control things that is not in your control, like who you're going to be paired with, will that opponent have a good day or a bad day, right? None of those things are in your control. Will it be noisy or not noisy in the room? There are just so many things that you don't have control of. However, focus on the things that you do have the control of, and try to do the best you can within those elements.
And I've loved throughout the interview, I've gotten the undertone of psychology of competition, and how very important it is to be mentally resilient. And that's something I think should definitely be highlighted.
Absolutely. It's chess during a tournament is at least 50% psychology. It's all about the state of mind And one of the hardest thing is to come back after a tough loss. Let's say you had a winning position and you blunder, right? And that's the toughest part, and I think that's what sets apart a great coach from just a good coach, that how you handle those situations. And that's when it's really important to try to bring it home that you cannot change the past. You have to focus on what's ahead and get the best of the circumstances you're in. And that's really important in between games and even during the game. And you made a mistake, let's say you had a great attack and all of a sudden you miss the move and the attack is not as strong anymore. Don't beat yourself up for the mistake you just made. Get back and try to evaluate where you stand now and what's the best you can do. Can you still play for a win, or should you focus on salvaging what you still can salvage and not lose the game, make a draw? And those are the toughest things psychologically, even for grandmasters. It's not just for scholastic level players, but that's I think the mental mindset that the coaches can really help their students and parents as well, that don't focus that much on what has happened, but rather focus on what will happen in the next games, and then really make serious learning lessons from the games from a tournament, let's say the SuperNational, after you're back home and you have the calmness without the emotions of what just happened, and really learn not to make the same mistakes. Of course, you can and probably should very briefly go through the game and understand why you lost, especially opening mistakes or basic tactical mistakes and what should have been done. But it's also important to conserve energy, especially during a tough, long tournament like the SuperNational. Keep having energy, whether it's food, whether it's having a quick nap, whether having a walk outside. It's really important to try to be in the best state of mind that you can for the next game.
I really want to highlight and bold that word nap, because I have had multiple conversations with students over the years. They'll fight against that nap, but it makes a huge difference in long tournaments where you're playing 9 hours in a day.
Yeah, it's a super hard tournament. It will involve a lot of walking. So actually, I think you'll get your exercise in just naturally, from going to your room to the tournament hall and the meals and back and forth several times a day. It's usually a lot of mileage in itself, which can be tiresome for players and parents alike. So I think it's really important to, maximize keeping your energy and being ready for the next games.
Well, I would like to thank you on behalf of US Chess for being available and taking time for this interview today, and for your ongoing support of growth in chess in the community. Sincerely, thank you.
Thank you. My pleasure being here, and I wish everyone at the SuperNationals the best of luck, and do the best you can.
Now, as promised, let's get to some tactics. In all tactical combinations that we're going to look at, I strongly recommend pausing your video between each tactic, trying to figure it out yourself. I'm going to go pretty quick through these. Remember, checks, captures, threats. We're going to be looking at a lot of, say, forks, double attacks in our first problems. So here, we're looking at checks first, and the first one that sticks out is pawn to f5. This is going to get the king to a landmine square, where after knight d4 check, hitting the king and queen, once the king moves, we're up a devastating amount of material. Next, we've got good control over the center, and loose pieces drop off. I like starting with this strong move d5. Black doesn't have a lot of options here. Moves the knight to safety, and now we're looking for check. Check, hitting both the king and the loose knight on e4, leading to wear up material. Next, start with the most forcing move, capture, followed by check, hitting the king and the bishop. We net material. Next up, start with the checks. Start with the most forcing move. Takes, followed up by the fork, and we're up material. White's got a lot of center in this problem. Make good use of it. Push, kicking the knight, fork, and pretty much no matter what black does here, we're going to be getting a minor piece. Next up, this is my favorite type of tactic. We're going to give material to get even more. And we first have a clearance sacrifice. Queen takes f6, followed by knight f7, forking, king and queen, netting material. Next up, we have another clearance sacrifice. This bishop is doing an amazing job holding the position together for black. Let's get rid of it. Then the follow-up capture, knight takes e6, forks king and queen, and we're up again. In this problem, black only had a single move. We would be in big trouble here. But it's our move and we need to make it count. Sometimes giving up our strongest piece is the best option. And no matter where the king goes, we're following up with knight takes. And we just turned a bad situation into a winning game. Next here, if only that knight on a6 didn't exist, we could follow up with free material gain. So let's remove the defender, followed by capturing with the fork, and we get the rook. So here we've got a pin on our knight. What's the best way to deal with this pin? With force. Knight g6. If black captures back with the knight, we'll take the queen. And if queen takes f5, the beautiful in-between move with check, forking king and queen, and we're up a rook. Next up, we've got knight and bishop versus rook. And with our first move, we're looking to put the black king on a landmine square. So I promote giving up my pawn to get the king on a very bad square where we can follow up with bishop takes d6 check, forking king and rook, and our job is going to be pretty easy simplifying the win from here. Next, we've got multiple moves here, which could make sense at a glance. But what's the most forcing way to handle this position? First, I'm going to capture on g7. This way, if the queen took our knight, we can still grab the rook. This forces queen takes g7. And now queen takes e5, getting that black queen lined up for the royal fork. And we know which piece we're going to be grabbing here after the king moves. Let's take the queen. Here, hopefully you're starting to get the pattern down and why I really like the Chess Tactics for Champions book is the chunking of tactical themes within chapters. So you're seeing the same or similar theme over and over. This gets you trained to spot it in your own games quite quickly. So hopefully you found check, followed by giving up the rook to place that king on that landmine square so our knight is going to be able to fork. And we've got plenty of time to deal with the outside passer. Once the pawn pushes, our knight can get in the path, giving us plenty of time to activate our king, use our pawn majority, and get the win. Same theme that we've been seeing. We're going to need to give to get. First, I'm going to check, to get that king on the g7 square, and then sacrifice the queen to follow up with a fork, and we're up material. In this problem, we're always starting with some sort of check to consider. e7, f6, putting it all together, knight f6 check, queen takes f8, exclam, knight takes h7, followed by winning the queen. This one's a bit harder, but it's the same theme. First, we check, sacrifice the queen for the knight, followed by under promotion to knight, netting material. Now we're at a different theme here. This time we're looking at exploiting the pin. Here, both the c pawns and the e pawn for black are pinned, and that gives us the opportunity to play queen takes d5, where black can't capture back. Next here, again, exploit the pin of the e pawn. Checkmate. Here we're exploiting the pin of the g pawn. Rook h5 check, followed by queen takes, where the pawn cannot capture back due to the pin from the bishop. Next, let's go ahead and pin the rook. So after rook takes d4, queen takes a3. In this position, we have the strong bishop d4, where black has the option to give us a rook or give us a queen. Using that pin concept again, we have the beautiful move queen d8, as our queen is immune to capture. And after rook takes, we have a winning game. In our last problem, we're again exploiting the pin. Look at all the checks. The best check, rook takes, followed by mate.
We are back. We're back. How did you guys enjoy the interview? How did you enjoy Brian's explanations to the tactics? Was it good? I really enjoyed that interview. I thought it was so good, and hearing the advice that Susan gives for parents, for kids, for girls to just be good about the expectations, what they want. You enjoyed it? Awesome, Paul. That's great to hear, and great to see you on this channel as well. I'm really glad you guys liked it. It gave me a little bit of time actually to go outside. I haven't gone outside for the past 2 days. So I was kind of nervous, I gotta say, going out and leaving the stream alone with Regina in the other room, but it all went well. I watched that interview already a few times. I think I just like it so much. It's a great inspirational. Susan and her sisters also, of course, Judith and Sophia, have been a great inspiration for many of us female players, and just listening to her, it always brings good positive energy, and I'm so glad you guys enjoyed it. And I think Brian did a wonderful job at letting her tell the story, and then of course in the end sharing those tactics I think all of us need to do a little bit more of. So wonderful. If you are on site in Orlando, don't forget that you can still purchase Susan's book, Rebel Queen, and she will be having signature, at least that's what it says on that. I hope I'm not getting this wrong. At 4 from 4 to 5 p.m. in the Skittles room. She'll be there. So 2.5 hours to get the book and go say hi, take a picture, get the book, have her sign it, or maybe you have other books of hers. She has written quite a few. Don't miss the opportunity to meet with her. All right, well, that brings us back to our round 4 commentary. I also got some coffee, which is amazing. I didn't think I would have coffee, but I do. So now I'm all ready for more game analysis. I hope you are as well. Let's catch up with each section and see what the players are bringing in for this round 4. The intensity of the tournament, I think, is getting more and more as we proceed into the as we advance into the rounds, of course, and then as we advance into the tournament. This marks the middle of the tournament. We're passing after this, right, because there are 7 rounds, and this is round 4. So let's see, what did Brew do in this game? C4. So he seems to be his usual setup. He's had this against the opponent in round 2 that we saw yesterday, but the difference between that game and this one is that Black actually took the bishop out in f5. If you haven't watched that, you can always go back and check out the stream, a previous stream. But here with the bishop in f5, it's a bit different because Black does have some control over the diagonal. Not so easy to go queen c2, for example, or bishop d3, of course, and attack the king side. This pawn chain will probably not be moved anytime soon, so we have to come up with a different plan. And it looks like Brew played h3. I wonder if it was just to stop some knight or bishop g4, or simply he wants to go for g4. We'll have to wait and see here. So he captured bishop e2. By the way, just because the bishop is there doesn't mean that White cannot still play this idea with knight d4. So that can still be something of a possibility for White. Also knight h4, of course, but here queen e7, d3. Okay, so he decided to just keep the pawn in d3. That makes sense. The queen will probably go to d2. Oh, there it is, castle, bishop a3. Okay, his opponent is low rated, so might want to keep the balance in the position, trying to trade the bishops. Rook to d1. So the position is quite equal at the moment. Of course, Black is slightly more comfortable due to this pawn being in the center and White having none, but eventually something's gonna go in the center. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, going on to the next game. Already White seems to... How did that pawn get there? Nico, what have you done? Let's catch up with this game. All right. This is Chess Dojo. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for the raid. I don't know who is streaming for Chess Dojo now, but oh, the command doesn't work. Oh, I don't know how to give a shout out otherwise. Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here. And I hope your stream went well. We're currently covering round 4 of the SuperNationals. Lots of exciting games. Top players in the top youngsters in the country who are probably the future of American chess are competing, and we're trying to see if we can catch their mistakes or their good moves and learn something from it. That is the plan. So welcome everyone. A3, yeah. So I used to play this with the black pieces, and basically the idea is, you know, you wanna develop the bishop in b7, put pressure in the center, and you're avoiding the development of the knight in f6, because if you take it out too soon, then White will have the opportunity to at some point go e5 and push you back. So that's basically the idea. So bishop e3, a3 is of course to stop b4, right? Bishop e3, Bishop e2, a very typical setup, and now we trade. So, okay, so this transposes to a Sicilian, right? Of course, after c5, white can consider going for d5, for example, just gaining a bit more space. And in some situations, I've seen black considering to do this. Not yet, I know. But this kind of ideas are possible to bring the 19. But this looks like a Benoni where black actually got the b5 in, which is pretty nice. Okay, so takes, e5, knight h6 takes. Okay, this is fancy. I don't know what is happening if we take back. Why was Nico so worried about queen takes? Does anyone have any ideas? Okay, you might not want to play for equality, I get it, but you know, you first equalize and then you come up with something. Because I don't think sacrifices here would do anything, right? I mean, we can just trade the queen and then take, and then king f8, no big deal. So king f8 is a bit surprising to me personally. Maybe he's thinking this pawn will be captured later and just, but it is very unpleasant to allow a pawn like that. Knight g4. The engine definitely does not like this move. And this entire setup, basically. What about long castle? He wants to take the bishop in e3. I don't really want to go bishop g1 here. It seems a bit too passive. I'd rather let you capture it. So if I castle long, what is your future plan? Because you see, this pawn is very unpleasant. It doesn't let black's rook to go to c8, which means black won't be able to attack easily. In c3, you want to take in c3 sometimes to weaken white's queen side, but yeah, I'm not quite sure what's happening here. Do you guys so the position is right here. This is the last move that black played. How is Nico planning on grabbing the pawn in d7 back? I wonder if he touched the king by mistake instead of touching the queen. That could be a thing also, but I don't think that he's, you know, he would do that, but Anjanea Rouse had some great nationals. I remember analyzing Anjanea's games in the past. Okay. Okay, we'll be back at this game. I'm just a bit surprised. Okay, what have we got here? Rui Lopez. This Steinitz variation. Okay, d4. Bishop b3. Bishop c2 is an option too, but it makes the most sense, of course, to keep the bishop here now that black has the bishop fianchettoed in g7, threatening to take this pawn, bishop e3, and now bishop c2. Okay, it's a pretty, you know, double-edged position. White has more space on the king side, black on the queen side. Maybe h3 will be played at some point by white. Try to get some space, chase the bishop away. Oh, this Vienna line. Okay. Okay. Here, knight there. I played this line with black. This is kind of cool. So knight f5, c6 d5. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So, yes, you're making a lot of moves with the knight, but you're trying to get the center, right? So you need the knight to move away. We move it a bit. We do. G4, we gotta move it somewhere. Looks like black went for the trade, and now you have to go back. If you go here directly, maybe, you know, you don't want to give up that bishop, so you just go back to e7 and now d5. So black's got a pretty solid position. This looks like an exchange variation of the French as well, but it's pretty solid. White gets a bit of space on the king side, and you know, it's a game. It's pretty balanced, but okay, white got a bit of space, but we'll see what happens here. This looks cool for white. I mean, white is on the way, on the verge of maybe winning that pawn. Oh, Dutch, Leningrad, Dutch with knight f3. Another idea for white, by the way, is to develop the knight in h3. The different positioning of the knight has various purposes. The one in h3 can go to g5 and f4, and leaves the bishop opened. That's a good thing to keep in mind. As the knight in f3, it closes it, but in the same time, the one in f3, whenever you go d5, you can put it in the center, which the knight in h3 cannot be placed there. Queen e8. So what are black's plans in the Dutch? Well, they typically want to bring the queen there and then support e5, right? And try to get quite a bit of space on the king side, and eventually they might go e4, f4, depending on how the position gets closed. Black will have some play on the king side. Okay, bishop e2, h6. But this knight b4 is probably queen d2. Yeah, a3 is definitely coming. I wonder if no, this doesn't work. c5 could be. No, because I think, oops, I just blundered. Apologies. I thought this could be an idea to bring the knight back. Because a3 is definitely happening for white. Maybe d5? But no, d5 will never play e5. What about e5 immediately? I think black is ready to play e5. If you play e5, you're definitely going to have some nice ideas there. You need to break open the center. Black is preparing a bit too much, I would say, but okay, this move is meant to just stop the knight from going to g5, you know, so if they go e5 and bishop e6, the knight does not go there. Okay, back. What about a pawn in a5? Isn't that a free pawn? What's happening with this pawn, my friends? Isn't that a free pawn? I think that's a free pawn. I'm a bit unsure what What is going on here? This is the issue why black should have played e5 and I think white's gonna take it. I don't know, I would take it. I don't really see a counterplay for black in this position. C5 is typically what black plays. C5 or e5 is just one of the two, but e5 we have too many pieces controlling that square. C5 could only be good now that there's a bit of a pin there, but I feel like white can just retreat to d2. That pawn is covered. We can take back and we're just up a pawn. Yeah, this is not good, looking good for black. Okay, some Sicilian here. Okay, going into the end game. This is a game. This is a game. I wonder if Dominic Nathan Paragua is Megan Paragua's sister. Brother. Sister. Megan is playing the next board. Okay, so Megan caught up. She's on a live board. Everyone wanted to see Megan. I wanted to see Megan. She's had an amazing few months. Gaining a lot of rating points. Bishop f4, castle. Takes, a3. Yeah, so this is some typical QGD/Tarrasch looking like position. d4 is very typical in order to get rid of the pawn and avoid allowing white to create an isolated pawn. And now queen g6, very cute move. Okay, this probably makes a bit more sense though, I think, or queen f5 to get the bishop back. But queen g6 simply pins the knight and keeps the pressure in g2. So now, you know, ideally you cannot develop that bishop because g2 is hanging and white castle long. Wow. Okay. Bishop f8, takes. So where do we move the knight now? I don't think this is gonna work. I believe we can just take it. And you won't have sufficient ideas here with black. So did white just stay with an extra pawn? And I like bishop d3 after. But I've seen Megan play positions with, you know, material down, and she did really well. I think she might still... I don't know if she's still in prep or something. Probably not here. But basically, like, white is up a pawn, but the king might be weak on the c-file. So as long as we find some way to play a6, b5, that should be kind of the follow-up we're expecting. And Gobach is playing, what was this? Some Grunfeld, some kind of Grunfeld / Schlechter. Because black played c6, right? Because white played c4. c5 wasn't played. c5 is still an option, by the way, for black. When you're playing the Grunfeld, you definitely want the bishop to get opened. But here it's not. Yeah, this is fine. It's equal position. Ooh. Wait, what opening was this? I see a king f3 at move like 19. What is this? What kind of Sicilian was this? Ooh, 4-knight Sicilian. This is the Sicilian I'm playing. This is the Sicilian I'm not playing anymore. I used to play with black. I was just having a conversation with a friend not long ago, and I was asked, what's the name of the Sicilian? And I was like, I don't know. I don't think it has a name besides 4 knights. I don't know. So, we'll see. We will see. This is spicy. So when I played this, last time that I played this with the black pieces, I remember it was this tournament in in France that I was playing with my mom. Might have been 2008, 2009, something like that. And I remember I asked my mom what was the correct move order. And we checked it together. At the times, the engines were not as developed as they are now. And there were two ideas that we could play. Something with like rook b8, and then there was this other idea where black was giving some check or just playing queen b6 and then rook b8. And I don't remember exactly how that game went. I actually lost it somehow from my database. I lost a lot of material from my database, but what I remember is that I lost that game in like 15 moves. I was dead. I was dead lost. It was against an international master, so I guess I shouldn't have felt that bad. But I did, because I thought I looked at the line, I knew everything, and clearly I did not know everything. So if you're ever playing an opening, make sure you memorize it well enough and check the order. The move order is super important, specifically in sharp tactical lines. It's very important. Mark my words. Double. Oh wait, I was just thinking it's very important. Did he just drop the knight? I thought there was some line with f5. Wait, so rook b8. This might have been what I've done too. Wait. This wasn't it. No, it. So I was playing like queen c7, f4. I'm telling you, it's something with no. It was not rook b8. It was something with like check or something. King f2. Queen b6, king f3, and you had to play like c5, or you had to play like f5 somewhere here with black to make sure you weren't gonna lose this knight. Because if you're not careful, like let's just say you play rook b8 here or something, this is gonna happen, and suddenly you're gonna be like, if white manages to do this and then somehow to go to c5, I don't remember exactly how it was, but I do remember there was like something like this and then c5. Oh, those bishops are gonna be so sad, so sad. Maybe not even c5, it's just sad bishops. So please make sure you double check your opening theory. Okay, king e2, and they have to play king e2 because if they play here, then there's knight e3. Here. I was black getting the piece back. I was black getting. There's no piece back. Okay, this might be new theory. Maybe I should play this line with black again. Just go for it. No worries. No worries in the world. Bishops f3. Bishop f3. Bishop f3. King f3. I mean king f3. I don't like king f3. The reason black is cool to give up the piece is that white's king is in the center, right? So with white's king being in the center, you're not like you're struggling. You are struggling. To develop, particularly these two pieces. So, should we go to b1? That seems decent. So if you do that, I think white just takes, and then you think I'm not gonna develop my bishop? Take that. Go away, rookie. The rook goes back, or like you can develop it, you can defend it, but it's not gonna change. It's not gonna change a thing. And then we develop. And somehow we're good. We're up a piece. King f3. This seems natural though. You're trying to hide with the king somewhere, bring some safety to that king. Bishop that, but that just gives up the pawn for free. Like, at least if you're gonna die, you're not gonna die, but if you are gonna die, that means like if you're gonna get checkmated or lose the game, you might as well just take out all material. That is what I usually like to say. Just take it all. Save it all. And take it all. Rook b1. Save it. But what do I know? King f3. I don't like this. Okay, does black have sufficient compensation? Let's come up with some compensation for black here. Some compensation. Should we go rook f8 and g5? Or should we try some queen c3? But queen c3, queen d3 maybe, and just trades. This is interesting. Interesting. Queen c3, queen d3. Or rook f8 to attract g3. And then something, this is what I wanted to do with black. I wish this move was possible. Oh, maybe it is. No, because queen takes. Ah, that's a pity. Okay, so I need to show that line. If that move was not possible, okay, if in a world where you can say if and then the opponent cannot make the move. So if this move was not possible for white to actually win a rook, look at this beautiful line. King takes. Queen b2 check. Queen b2 check. No matter what you play, you're gonna lose something. If you go king on the third rank anywhere, we're gonna play rook c3 and getting your queen. Okay, you can sack it. I'll have a queen and a bunch of pawns for 2 rooks. That would be brilliant. And then, of course, if you put the queen in d2, that is happening. And if you go king, somewhere on the back rank, then of course your rook will be captured and the other rook comes in. But we cannot play if chess or hope chess. We gotta make sure that we consider every good move for the opponents. After queen c3, queen d3, we can't take because they'll take here in between move, and we don't have a good in between move with the rook. So we need to come up with something different for black. But what exactly? What exactly could we do to continue putting the pressure? You know, I'm thinking, like, in a way I was thinking maybe we could do this. Oh no, I have an idea. What about this move? Wait, this, I thought this was so cute. Okay, it's probably this, and after this. Oopsie, sorry, I meant this. Then we can protect. Not so cute. Not so cute anymore. Only when it works. That's when it's cute. What about d4? Oh, that's again not so cute. Guess we can maybe take. Oh, sorry, rook c1. Rook c1. You have to sack. If you take there, I take, and but then this is definitely winning for white. So after bishop e2, what would be a good way for black to maintain the pressure? I wish I could go rook b4, but no. What about d5? e5, we lose d5. What about g5 directly? What do you guys think, g5 directly? Like, you know, you gotta take it step by step to see what the weakness is of white's. White's weakness is the king. The king is in the center. It's unprotected. It's not even in the center. It's like wide open. And yeah, what do we do? It's not easy at all. I wish I could check. Okay, maybe now we can put pressure? No. No, I keep missing some defensive resource for white. It's like maybe this, but then check. But then we have... No, we don't have that yet. Ah! Wait. Do we have... No. Do we have I was gonna take, and then queen takes, and just maybe queen c2 here. I want all these fancy moves which don't work, apparently. Oh, queen c4! Queen c4, tell me it's queen c4, because this is brilliant. Ah! Oh, I can still see a move. I can still see it. Queen c4, look at that. Oh. It's so gorgeous. Isn't this gorgeous? Come on. Come on. I love this move. Like, I don't know why I get so happy about specific moves. It's like I'm like a kid. You know, just like a kid who gets some chocolate at some point. You're not allowed to get chocolate, but the day when when your parents are like, if you do this you're gonna get this, and you're like, oh, reward, let's do this. This is my reward, finding good moves. There's no better reward than finding good moves in chess. It's just like the patterns, the creativity, and then the bar. You know, that bar is killing me because I don't know what the moves are. I just see the bar moving and I'm just like, bar, go away. Don't go away. Stay there with the advantage. Fantasy moves. Yeah, just like dream move, queen c4. If this actually happens, I will say I called it. I can say I called it. I had it on stream. Oh, this is so beautiful. I mean, queen c2 had the same idea, but here it's much better because you're actually attacking both d3 and the queen. So if you take, bam. And if you don't take, then your bishop is in trouble. So like... I can keep my WGM title for now. Wow, okay. I don't think I was ever in position to lose it, but thanks, I guess. I guess when I blunder, you guys are like, WGM, come on. Who is this? Who is this blundering mate in one? Why is she even here? Well, I appreciate the support, Smarts guy. Okay, that was a brilliant idea. Seriously, I need to make sure I save that line because that line is brilliant. I don't even remember it now anymore. How is it? Wait. How is the line? So bishop e2, right? And what did I say? I said, wait. What did I say? I said, I forgot what I said. I said g5, g3, rook f8, queen d4, check, if bishop d3. The brilliant move here is the move queen to c4. Let's go. Brilliant. Obviously this line is not forced, as I made a bunch of mistakes for poor white and black. White can go back here, so no pins, no nothing. I remembered. Amazing. I can still keep my WGM title. It's not going away. Okay. Okay, we need to come up with something because black has some advantage here. So g5, g3 sounds good, right? That's a good, it's a good approach to get started to take advantage of white's king. Now I'm thinking, since we like that line, what if we could do, no, it's just giving up the pawn for free. But could we give the check first? Oh, sorry, there's a queen in d1. See, yeah, now I just lost my title in 1 second. How do we get the check? How do we get the check to bring in the queen? Because queen c3, queen d3, and that doesn't work. We already saw that before. Unless we give a check and then we go queen f6. No. But the check is good. So how is this different than the previous one I showed? How is this different? Is a G4 an option? G4. Guys, look at this line. Look at this line. G4 check. And you cannot go on the back. Like, you cannot go back here. Because you get automatically pinned and you lose the queen. So, G4. If you go King E3. If you go King E3. If you go King E3. I think it's check. You need to go King E4 again. If you come back, then we take the queen. So you go King E4. And now, I think it's like that, right? No, it says mate in 4, so there's even faster than that. Queen C6, Queen C6, Queen C5, Queen F. Wait, let's see it. Queen C6, if he takes, Queen C5, he comes back. Where's the mate? Where's the mate? I know, where's one? Where's one? Where's one? Where is it? It's definitely Queen C6. I just... Queen C5. Where's the mate? In 3. Or maybe it's Queen B6. Queen B6. King E4. Do you guys see it? Was it Rook C4? But Queen B6, Queen B6, King E5. Right? Where's the mate? It's a mate in 3. Gosh. I'm not seeing it. Because you can't cover both. Queen C5 is mate in 5. Queen D5? Saves. Ah, Queen A4, maybe. Is it this? No. Queen D6? It says mate in 3. Maybe you just have some random move that helps you them, like maybe it's D. Rook takes E2. But that's not... Maybe it's Rook takes E2, you just take. Because, yeah, Rook takes E2. I was looking only for checks, that's why I couldn't find it. This is a problem. If he takes, it's a check and pawn mate. It's actually really, really gorgeous. And if he doesn't take, you basically want this mate. How is he gonna stop this? This is so beautiful. I mean, this is a video that I definitely need to make because it's so nice. I mean, look at it again. So here we go, Queen C3 check, Queen D3, and this is the move to find G4 check. Now, we did not look at king takes, right? We only looked if they come on the back rank or if they go there, then we have the mate and everything. But okay, let's look at king takes G4 here. How does black gain momentum? You know, what I would like to see, something like this, and then if you take some queen g7 and then king here and mate, but obviously that's not working. But those kind of ideas would be kind of cool to see if they would work, because certainly you like the way black is going to get keys counterplay or compensation is considering that white is white's up a piece, right? So we need to make sure we take advantage of the king being exposed. But I know we don't want to trade queens anymore. So actually maybe queen f6 is a nice move here. No, but it is a queen move for sure, because you do want to make sure that, oh, maybe queen g7 check. You cannot go back to f3 because of rook c3 and you lose your queen. So now the king has to go on the h file, right? So now we got them on the h file. Isn't it brilliant that we can actually make the moves on the board? These poor guys. H1 chess. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid, H1 chess. I can give you a shout out because we don't have a command. I didn't realize, but H1 chess is in. It doesn't work, Bishop Stars. I feel bad. I need to figure it out. Shout out to H1. I hope you had a great stream. Got some nice games. H1 is in Orlando, Florida, doing game analysis for the players of 1,300 sections and below. So if you have a game, don't miss the chance to meet with him. And yeah, say hi. He's a very, very nice streamer. And definitely follow him if you haven't done so yet. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I will figure out the shout out command as soon as possible. But I appreciate all of you who are here. If you would go and follow H1 as well. Thank you for that. Are you getting some nice games, H1? Did you see some nice games? I'm seeing this brilliant. I'm coming up with these brilliant moves here. So these kids, thank goodness for a break and coffee, because now I have as much energy as some of the kids, at least in my mind. It's okay if I don't have it in real life. The mind is a great thinking mechanism that helps us stay. These kids are too good. I know they're amazing. They're amazing. Tani especially has progressed a lot in the past few years, ever since he came to the US, and it's always nice to follow his progress. He's one of those kids from Chess Kid, which, by the way, Chess Kid also has a booth there. You can stop by if you're in Orlando. World Chess Hall of Fame, I understand, has exhibitions. Don't forget to check out Susan Polgar's book signing. You watched a wonderful interview earlier with her and National Master Brian Tillis, and like don't miss a lot of the action. If you're on site, go check out H1 as well. Bishop Stars, it's been a long time. I haven't seen you on my stream in forever. I've been streaming this entire month. Yeah, her books, Tactics for Champions, is really good, and her recent one, Rebel Queen, I hear is very good too. I wish I could get a signed copy, but I'm not there, so no signed copy for me, which is sad. But okay, whoever is there, get it and think of me. It's like I would receive the signed copy. Oh, I'm sorry, Bishop Stars. I hope things will be better for you. I'm showing you. Sorry, what is going on with my messages? 1 second. Hospitals, and I'm sorry to hear that. I hope things improve. I hope the chess brings you a bit of positive. Oh, okay, that's wonderful. Wonderful news. Okay, so hopefully chess also brings you a bit of positive vibes as well. It's good to have you here. Yeah, welcome back. So what are we doing here with black? Come on. This is way too hard bishop stars. Queen h3. I want to find this. I want to find this brilliant ideas. So now if we go rook c3, where are you gonna go with the queen? You gotta go to a6. Okay, we chased your queen away. Now, ladies and gentlemen. I wish, like, is this gonna be? It's kind of like the queen tango dance, because I brought it to c3, I brought it to g7. Now it's coming that way, and I think I'm coming to h5 now. Maybe not yet. It's soon. It's approaching. Oh, I'm gonna go rook e3. Look at that. This is a never-ending. But you have to find all these moves without moving the pieces. Not like me. I'm being here showing off and all, but like imagine if I had to play this. I don't think I would find these moves. If this happens, now maybe we go here, because if you go, oh, look at this beautiful idea. If you go king f2, we have queen f3 check, and then we take, and yeah, you got one check or two, and I don't care. No more checks. Mate is happening. Sounds good, H1. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy Florida. Teach those kids some chess. Learn from them too. This is brilliant. This is such a brilliant idea. Okay, so if we cannot do that, what do we do? To king f2 directly. But okay, in the worst case, black can just take, right? And this endgame should be better. Okay, we found the win. That's it. Now I can keep my WGM title. It's not going anywhere. Good. If you would see my page of analysis here to the right, like the analysis for this game, it's like it's more than a full page. I don't think I've ever stayed this much to analyze a position, but this is so deep. Like, it's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful idea. Oh, Tani. Oh, someone clip this and show Tani the winning line. I would show him myself, but I'm not there. I'll make a video. Be like, Tani, did you think about this gorgeous idea? Look, g5 has to play g3. It's forced. Then you give this check. They cannot move the king anywhere. They have to go queen d3. Then you go g4. They cannot move the king anywhere. We already saw it. You're either losing the queen or you're getting mated. Gotta take the pawn. And now backwards move. Backwards. You cannot go back to f3 because rook c3 loses the game. You gotta go to h3. Queen. No, sorry. Rook c3. This queen has, oh, I guess queen d1 we didn't look at, but I don't think that should be survivable for white. Because this blocks everything. Like, just, sorry, maybe not that. Oh, I mean, maybe same thing, right? Maybe we do the same thing. And if you move the bishop, then I think they'll be mate. So when the queen goes there, we check. And what was it? Did we play here first, or yeah, we played here. This is so beautiful. This is how you get stronger, by the way. I often get questions. How do I get stronger? Regardless of your level, if you spend in the time to analyze, whether by yourself or with someone, and if you don't have a friend with whom you can analyze, make one, or try to figure out if there's a chess club in your area. You can find people online as well who have similar passions and try to improve. If you don't, you can always try to use the engine to help you, but don't keep it to the right side and look at it every 5 seconds to see what it tells you. Find some way that you have the engine kind of like chess.com has this dashboard thing. So you have the bar at least, but you don't have the moves. The moves are underneath, right? You guys saw this, right? The moves show underneath. So I actually don't see this. I'm showing you guys now to see where it is. But I'm not looking at this because I can't see. I only see the board. Whatever you guys see, that's what I see. And I see the moves to the right, whatever I make. But you have the evaluation here, and you're not gonna look at it until you are ready to actually when you're ready to actually make a move. Until then, you're just gonna try to find the move and then make sure the bar doesn't change. So that way it's gonna be a great like improvement. Steven, oh, I'm so glad you're here. Do you want to see my brilliant findings in this beautiful game? I don't know when you came, so you must have missed it. You might have missed it. This is a brilliant, like, you know how excited I usually get about moves, but this was really, oh, you did see a good chunk. You saw my Queen C4 brilliant move. Queen C4 is the move you had to see. Yeah, that was the one that got me so happy. It got me too happy. It's the coffee. I don't think Sabina gets happy usually for things, you know. She's, I don't know why I talk about myself in the third person, but like I usually get happy for things. I'm usually, you know, very bubbly personality, get overly happy. But I got extra happy today because while I was playing the interview that Brian did with the legendary Susan Polgar, I got the chance to go to outside. I got a breath of fresh air, and I had made a coffee order to get some coffee for the stream too, because I knew I would have to work a lot this weekend, and it said it wasn't going to arrive until Monday, but guess what? It arrived today. So Sabina got an extra dose of caffeine. And now she's extra, okay? That's why I'm extra. Don't let me have too much caffeine. If I get overly extra, just tell me, Sabina, chill. No more caffeine for you for a week. Anyways, we've spent a lot of time on this. I think I spent an hour on this game. Let's catch up with some of the others. I didn't even catch up with the openings in some of the other games. We're catching up. We'll be back, because that is brilliant. It's just, I love that game so much. Because it brings a lot of very instructive material. Like it makes you think. It's a calculation style position, but a great analysis position too. If you're ever wondering what kind of position should I choose to analyze, positions like that with imbalances, where you're trying to get something to succeed, to do something when the opponent has maybe more material than you do. So that's something that. Okay, okie dokie. Okie dokie tokie. This is still theory, opening theory. Moving on. Is this looking good? Moving on to the middle school. Yes, it's looking good. Okay. What have we got here? CC. Ah, Kia. No, just closed. Looks like Kia. Can we call this Kia when black plays with e5? I'm not sure if we can do that, because these positions are always tricky to me. White's attack seems always much faster. Black usually has to take here first, to my knowledge. Yeah, but you know, like, okay, but the bishop in c4 is nice because you can support that. You know what I don't understand? I actually have an idea, since you're an e4 player, Steven. I have a question for you. So you know those people who play like this. What is your view on this? Because I tell my students, like, who play this, not to do it anymore. I know some coaches teach this move, but to me, it just doesn't make sense. Obviously, I'm not a main e4 player, and to me, this move just makes no sense because there's a pawn in e6. It's obvious the black wants to get the French pawn structure if you're not gonna play the open Sicilian. So why would you play this move bishop c4? Okay, your coach recommends this. Okay, so do you agree with it? Just because your coach recommends it doesn't necessarily mean you're comfortable with it. You know, you need to have your own stance. If you don't like something, you should say it. I mean, not in a rude way, don't get me wrong. Just, you know, if you don't like something, you have to play what you feel comfortable with and what you understand well, because sometimes we have the tendency as coaches to teach you what we know best, because that's what we know, and we know we can transfer that information the best way. But the problem is that if our vibe, our personality, our chess style does not match yours, then whatever we show you, it will be much harder for you to adjust to when you're actually playing, because you don't have that, I don't know, positional understanding, or maybe you have a positional understanding and you're not that tactical. So you need to make sure you have your... Interesting. Okay. Okay, so I guess it makes some sense. I mean, this doesn't have many games, but to me, it just doesn't make it. Wouldn't be the kind of prep that I would do against someone who plays the Sicilian. I'd probably choose something else. I thought that a lot of the times coaches would suggest this line, they suggest it because a lot of the times people, like when you first get started to play chess, maybe for like later in our careers, maybe it makes sense. But when kids first play chess and they're taught to play the Italian, and what I don't like is when they're taught to play the exact same system against everything. And I think that takes away the creativity of the kids, of the student. You have, like, they sometimes they start playing it automatically instead of really thinking about why those moves are played. Here it makes a lot of sense. The bishop is open. And to me, for example, here, it doesn't make as much sense to go bishop c4 because, like, you know, d5 is happening, like I will play it now or later, and it just seems that you are just helping me, and why would I want to help as white? Why would I want to help black, you know? It's just my opinion, but I mean, I'm sure there's more in-depth story about this move, but I try to make sure I change some setups. Maybe I'm not the best fan of teaching setups to kids, especially at the beginning when they're first starting, because I think it takes away their creativity. And what I love the most about chess is being creative, is seeing some idea in one opening and being able to utilize it in another. And if you're just going to play the exact same thing, not understanding the opponent's response and own setup, then it's just yeah. You're surprised why I didn't go a4 earlier? Instead of this knight d2, maybe he could have played a4. Maybe this. Maybe he just didn't want this move to be played, but I guess he can go knight d2 now. Maybe he didn't care. He didn't want to weaken the... He wanted this move to be played so that he could have the c4 square. The other way around, you can still play b6, a6, b5, and maybe that's why he didn't do it. But I love white's knight in the center, and now white's gonna have... Oh, that's not a good move. Interesting. I was gonna suggest that. Is queen h5 a move here? Or is it gonna let you take? It's letting you take. So what shall we do here? So I got one question. How bad is this? Ah, it's bad. I want to play d4, but I don't think I can. Creativity in chess is dead. It's all about memorization and prearrangement. Okay. Okay. I see. I'm a huge fan of Bobby Fischer's chess. Do not agree with all his statements. Though he has made some points. Very good points about some. What is a good move for white here? Okay, this is gonna look weird, but no. You're back, Cormac. Hey! Welcome back. Welcome back. Tell me, what is a good move for white? What is a good move for white in this position? I wish it was d4. Flip the table and run away. Yeah, that's ay. Maybe your opponent will not notice. He's suddenly playing with the reverse color. He's just, it's like, oh, I thought I was better in this position. What is going on? Take the pieces? What is with all these suggestions? It is a later quote, indeed. It is a later quote, yeah. Wait, is it really a later quote? Yeah, I think it's like from that plane, right? When he was coming back to Iceland, I think. That's when he said that the first time. Or, well, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't the first time, but I think it's known from that video. I believe, right? Sounds right. I can't come up with a good move. Like, this is what I wanted to do, but it's just like, why am I giving up a pawn for free? And if I take, I just don't like that bishop to recapture and my rook being him, you know, hanging. But if I don't, what do I do? I mean, there's no way this is good. Yeah, there's no way. So then what is it knight takes b4? Like, can we just take, like, is this... No, okay, good. Because I wouldn't like that to be... Oh my goodness, it's pawn takes. No, still not. I need help. Help! Maybe it's just development. I literally tried everything. No, it says g4 is a mistake. Like that, just h4 you want? It does take some clock time, h4. Oh, wow. Why is this better than g4? Oh, do you want me to sing that song? Beatles song? Never play g4. Of course, what? What? Always, of course, always play g4. Come on. G4 shenanigans, did you forget about that, Bishop Stars? My favorite move of all time. G4. How can we not play G4? H4 is brilliant, apparently. Jeffrey must be happy. He's like, ah, yes. I don't understand the move, but it is brilliant. Oh, I see. There's Queen H5. Yeah. Well, maybe you do something here first, or maybe you don't care. Because this is happening. Never play H4, only H5. Where are you coming up with all these statements, Artistic Cutter? We don't care. We gonna go for the sacrifice. You go here, we don't care. Take the rook. We take it back. And then we are going for the sacrifice. Or G4, G5. Okay. Something. So why is this so bad? Because no. I mean, I wasn't even... The only reason I tried that move is because I thought... Other way. Oh, I see. I see. Your username is very sneaky. Yeah. Other way or other way. Sounds the same. Nice spell. Good. Creative spelling of a username. I like it. You can go for your... No, Brian is on his way to... So he played f6, because obviously if you take, then there's f6, and black will escape. You don't have the g-pawn anymore, but he went for f6. But where is his mate? Might be a bit too slow. You see I see 4g4. How should I read that? I see 4g4. Multiple. Okay. Well, I'm clearly not coming up with a different way to read it. Yeah, to spell it out. H4. It's just that white gave up a bit too much. How many pawns down does white have? 3? 3 pawns? Maybe bishop c8 followed by g4? I'm not sure this is gonna work, because I see some very fancy ideas. Like, well, this is one of them. This is one, but I'm sure I have better moves here for white. Bishop. Okay. I have a suspicious one. Here or here. I don't know where's best. Like, you know, if you take, this is my this is my way my way of mating. Yeah, no. Can I go bishop h6 or something? But I just don't see the follow-up yet, but I mean I would love to do this first because I'm chasing this rook away. And now I need to think of a way to really make a difference. Like, for example, how bad is this move? Oh wow, it's gorgeous. It's the gorgeousness of the gorgeousnesses. Look at that. Oh, rook f5. Don't you guys love this? I do. And no, you can't just move the king here because we're gonna mate you. Somehow. I don't see it yet, but it's coming. It is somewhere there. Where is it? We don't have a mate. We're just gonna take the queen. It's fine. Starting with the queen, moving on later with something different. But this is so nice. I mean, this is, yeah, g4 is probably better not to be played. Because you are weakening those squares a bit too much. While the pawn is in g4, you know, I have to take a few times to open up, but just keep it there, so not that. Oh, it was played. That was played. Bishop c8 was played. I mean, it seemed natural. Oh my god, do you guys think he's gonna go for g4? I'm sure queen h5 will be played. I mean, that's, yeah, the most natural. Never! Ever! Surely not g4. Should we make a bet or something? Surely not g4. Wow, you guys are super confident that black will not play that. Okay, so what was the point of bishop c8 then? What is anyone who plays bishop c8 wants to play g4, I think. I think that makes sense. But okay, so what's the move that black is gonna play if you don't go for that? Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear your suggestions. Obviously the position is fine for black here, so you'll find it's true. You guys are funny. So what are we doing? It's too cryptic. It's too cryptic for me too. It just sounded funny. Artistic otter only talks in these double meaning sentences, so we need to search deep into the sentence to understand. I wouldn't know. I'm seeing Artistic Otter for the first time. If you haven't followed my channel too, feel free to do so if you want. But I'll be here for quite some time. You'll see me today for this stream, and then one more. Oh, really? That's from Lord Vader? What? I did see Star Wars. Actually did recently, but I don't remember that sentence. Which one is it? In which one? Oh, that's what he says? Well, I need to watch it again and pay attention to the... I need to pay attention to the sentences. Empire Strikes Back. I remember that one. I like that one. Actually, when I was a kid, it's really funny. So when I was a kid, my dad, whenever we were doing game analysis or something, and he was coming up with like good moves or something in a position, and you know it was clearly lost, but somehow it was coming back with some idea, he would say Empire Strikes Back. I can't say it. Empire Strikes Back. And I would not understand it because I don't think I watched Star Wars with my parents. My parents were, maybe they watched it themselves, but I didn't. I only watched it like last year, so I should remember it better. I see. Yes, I remember. Empire Strikes back after g4. After g4, we can say that Empire strikes back with this brilliant move. King bishop h6, rook f5. And this is like brilliant. Brian is still thinking. Okay, let's go to some other games. He's just, there are too many exciting games at this point. I'm stuck. I get stuck with one. Okay, bishop e7. Why is that a blunder? Is black losing some piece or something here? Knight f7 or something? Or something. Why don't we take in e5? You think knight f7 here, but takes, and then knight g5, and then okay, let's see. Bam, 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 and then I guess not there. Okay. I guess vice better. Just take. Yeah, this is. This looks nice. Upset alert. Where? Which game? This looks nice for white. So that was missed. White played knight takes f6. This looks nice too. I mean, this looks nice too. Because if knight takes, then we just... Oh, we can't take. What was the idea after knight takes? Just rook takes? Rook takes. Freebie. Okay, so this looks nice. Okay, white's cruising. White will be cruising through this for sure. Okay, moving on. I think I know just shit. Yeah, knight takes f7, I agree. It's easier to play. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Steven. This looks chill. This looks still on the opening. Some stonewall stuff. There are a bunch of reds here, so I want to catch up with this this pawn structure. Actually, what was it from the beginning? Sicilian, open Sicilian, con Sicilian. Oh, okay. Wouldn't you rather take, or maybe go c5 and then maybe take this? I think so, right? I think it makes a bit more sense, but 97 takes a3. I wonder if this move worked. No, because knight takes. So if there was no knight takes, this would be nice. Oh no, actually it wouldn't. It wouldn't be nice. Never mind. I thought we had the sacrifice, but we don't. Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, right now? Yeah, you get two pieces. Yeah, I was trying to go with the bishop to c4. I don't. Yeah. This is yeah. Good catch. I was trying to put the bishop in c4. I somehow thought the rook was on c1. Okay, but this seems fine too. White still has some advantage. Or not. Can we not do the same thing again? But now we're not winning sufficient, because maybe queen c6 and then this will be hanging too. What is happening after rook takes b6? Why didn't white go for rook takes b6 here? Seems fine, right? Okay, he wanted to do it now. Okay. He didn't know. Maybe he thought he can take it anytime. All right, so Oscar's doing better here. This might be an upset, I think. This looks quite chill. And that we caught up with the middle school. Let's get into the elementary. Tariq is cruising here. What happened in this? King's Indian, classical. Ah, Bayonet. Bayonet, I haven't seen this in such a long time. I used to play it with white, actually. I really liked it. I had some nice wins against this. So a5 is basically attracting you to make this move b5. Because if you play b5, you're giving that square and you're stopping your options to go with c5. So black can play b6. And you don't have a simple plan anymore while black can focus on this side of the board. So typically here, white either plays bishop a3, and in case of a trade. And then even if b6 is played, white will continue with a4, a5, get rid of that pawn, and then play c5, because white's pawns... Oh my goodness. White's pawns point in that direction towards the queen side, so that is the break that you want to get with white in this position. So there's that. But looks like white decided to take, which kind of gets in similar positions, because you go a4, and then you typically bring the bishop back. If b6 will be played, you chase the rook away, and then you go c5. Yeah, this is so typical. Beautifully found by Tarek. Okay, he's up material. He's gonna win this game. This looks quite equal. I see a lot of reds around here. This is messy. White's king is quite open, but it's not so clear. It's not so clear how you're gonna take advantage of it. I was curious how Stella was doing. So I had the chance to actually coach Stella for a World Cadet Championship last year. She did pretty well. She actually got a bronze medal. She was one of the 3 people who got a bronze medal in the World Cadet last year. I had two medals. I coached 2 girls who got medals. It was quite exciting. Out of the 3 that you guys got, 2 were my students, not private, but but assigned to me. It was really wonderful working with them, and definitely they have a great future in US chess. Stella is defending now. Might be able to hold. It's not easy, but she's doing quite well with the time. Wow. Wow. Lev is cruising through. So this is board 1 in K through 5 championship. Lev has had some brilliant games. I mean, this is just... Look at Black's position. White's king stays on mate. You gotta choose which move you're gonna play to win. I mean, this seems the easiest, right? Just take everything. Just take it. Ooh. What happened in this game? Why not h4? Probably f6. Okay. Would f6 work? Hi, Quickma, how are you doing? I think this looks nice for white. Like, f6 is a really nice in-between move that, like, before you go h4 or take, that really stops black from playing f6, because if they do, they strengthen their chain of pawns. But so now, for example, if queen here is played, I think h4 maybe, or maybe we have some sacrifices or something first. I don't know if we can take, and rook f4, rook f5 if you take back. Or queen d2. Queen d2 is actually crushing because the queen comes in, yeah. And you don't have time to take because queen g5 and rook f6. This would have been a nice move here, but instead white took. Okay, it's gonna be a perpetual or something here. It's actually kind of an interesting line. Knight g7 check, king g8, and now if I do this, you actually have this move. That depends everything. You think you have a draw, but you don't. So you have to be very cautious on how you're gonna play this here. So after knight g7, you probably have to do like something with like queen f7, rook f6 or something like that, I think. Or maybe rook f6 directly. Just to have the different checks available, whichever is needed first. This is something you want to do. Just want to remind everyone, if you happen to be in Florida, don't miss the opportunity to go for the Susan Polgar book signing, which is starting soon, 4 p.m. in a minute. 1 minute. You got 1 minute to get your books ready and get in line. Also, at 3:30, Blitz with Carissa has started. You probably, some of you might see, stay in line to play a game of chess, of Blitz with Carissa. And 4:15 Grandmaster lecture with Grandmaster Elshan Moradiabadi. You might enjoy that as well. Grandmaster Elshan is very knowledgeable about his middle game, specifically openings and middle game stuff, and just has this brilliant memory of great games in chess history. So if you're looking for something in particular, you can always ask him. If you have the chance to join in his lecture at 4:15, please do so. It's gonna be in lecture hall W300. So if you're on site, stop by, say hi, take a picture, tag him on Instagram. He loves that. He always reposts pictures of everyone. He loves his posts. Okay. Oh, looks like Grandmaster Leinier is still playing. Is still playing Blitz potentially. I'm not sure. Possibly. He might still be playing there. That room is ginormous from the pictures that I've seen. Oh. Carissa also played against Leinier. She played against Awonder too. Check them out if you haven't. Quick math. Stop by there if you want. If your parents want you to. Okay. Let's see. What is going on over here? Is knight g7 going to be played? That's the only move for black. This one does not work because I think after rook f7 is just GG. So black only has one move, but they're definitely taking their time here. So I'm not sure what's happening. Have you ever played 3 rounds with classical time control in a single day at any national championship? No, I have not. No. I think there were at some point some tournaments a few years back, like at normal tournaments in the US with 3 rounds a day. But I think FIDE stopped allowing that at some point. Yeah, in the US. FIDE stopped allowing 3 rounds a day a while back. So I think there's no more, I mean, those games are not FIDE rated. I mean, yes, you can still play, but they're not FIDE rated. They're just, USCF rated, definitely, yeah. So, in my national championships, typically there was 1 round a day. Sometimes, I think very rarely 2, because typically you had to qualify in Romania. You had to qualify to play in the national championships. So, like, you had these semi-finals, they're called, but they're not like semi-finals, like 4 people. They were just like preparation ones before the actual final. So a lot of kids from all over the country could go play, and then there was a specific way in which they were qualified, and then you're playing the final ones, like the national championship top 12 players. So it was a closed tournament a lot of the time. Sometimes it was open, but depending on the tournament, sometimes it was open, sometimes it was closed. So just top 12 in that age category, because it was under 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. And it was 1 round a day. Yeah. Last round in the morning, but not 3. Not 3 rounds for sure. It's tough, I gotta say. It's tough because, I mean, there's a lot to think about, a lot to prepare. You need to make sure you get enough food. It's really, like, I really appreciate parents who take their kids to these big tournaments and let them have the experience, and make sure that they get well fed and prepared, and that there's some schools send a coach with the kids to have the opportunity to maybe analyze in between the games. I think that's really wonderful. So yeah, when there's a possibility to play such a tournament, the support of the parents is huge. So I'm very thankful to see so many parents supporting their kids at these SuperNationals. And of course, I cannot, I would like to also make, a note and say thank you to everyone behind the scenes who make this, SuperNationals possible. There's a lot of staff, US chess staff, including, the staff, but also like tournament directors, arbiters, volunteers, everyone who is there and working at the event, the guests, everyone is trying to do their best to make sure that the kids have as smooth as possible of a tournament, and enjoy the experience of playing such you know, such an important tournament. So, you know, I think sometimes we try to find the the little things, the little things that maybe don't work well, but and we forget to appreciate the hard work that's put behind and trying to make everything possible. And yeah, I hope all the staff, US chess staff, knows that they are being appreciated, at least by me, hopefully by more people. but yeah. So we're waiting for knight g7 to be played in that particular game. We'll be back to it. Hi, Underground. How are you doing? So what else have we got here? This looks like a really nice move by White. Sasha's had a really nice tournament and great attacking games. Here, Sasha's getting a bit in trouble there with that pawn. What happens after c5? Can we go c5 in this position? What do you guys think? Maybe White can switch over, put some pressure, or maybe Queen could queen. No, because then we lose the bishop. I don't want to trade. Actually, maybe this. But now the bishop is protected, so maybe we can switch over, or maybe a3. I'd like this queen gone so that I can go rook c1 and then put more pressure. DaVaun is playing against Celine. This knight is quite unpleasant there. So what's Black planning to do after this move? Maybe just defend. What about knight d3? I think knight d3 is a nice approach, because if you move the queen, we take and we win the pawn. If you take, we take back with the rook, and then we put pressure, and then we'll be able to do this too. So Black might not be able to defend that pawn and might lose it, but it's not going to be easy for White to improve in this position because of the way things are. It's not so simple. What is happening here? White's definitely much better. You see, when you get this pawn structure with a pawn in e5 and stabilizing that outpost to place a rook there, it's going to be very difficult to come up with some ways to take that out. But okay. Uh-oh. What's going on in this endgame? Looks like Black's doing much better. because that pawn is falling. That pawn is falling. And we won't be able to create our own, will we? Because even if you do, this is the reason why further away passed pawns are really helpful. Because now, even if we go here and we try to create our passed pawn, this is basically what's happening. Black just sits here. Whenever we will go to take that pawn, maybe we just sit here for now and stuff. But even if we didn't and we tried to go grab that pawn, even if black didn't have this pawn, this was winning because black's king is much closer to these pawns than white's king will be after the trade. So that looks like a win. And we have another king and pawn endgame. How did we get into this one? Rook e6. Why did... Wait. Did white miscalculate this? Did white... What is the best way for white to win here? +90 +10? I don't remember tournaments that had 90 +10. So white ended up playing here. And this is just about the same thing. So you cannot take. You also cannot take in e6 because the problem is if you take and bishop takes, black is not forced to move the queen on a dark square. It can just move it on a light square, and then you don't have a discovery, right? So you don't want to do that. Bishop takes, yeah, that's, I was thinking that, but what about knight f3? Isn't that like an issue if you take? Isn't knight f3 losing? Knight f3 is losing, unfortunately, because of discovery. So you cannot do that. You have some checks that you want to give. I'm just trying to figure out where and when. Or maybe we can just go, wait. Okay, so no, this also doesn't work as a knight f3. Same thing, same thing. And if you take, this happens. If you don't take, then I take your queen. So what about queen c3? Because then knight f3 anyways. What if you just make like some prophylactic move, like bam, just that's it. This could work. This works definitely. Just avoid the check. But apparently we have an even better move here with white. Queen b4, and then takes. Okay, so I move my king somewhere. And then I guess we can technically take because this is, right? So if you go with the king anywhere on the d file, this is what's gonna happen to you. If you go with the king on the e file, it's not just about protecting the rook bishop stars because knight f3 is still an issue here. Knight f3 is still something that can happen, by the way, so. What is the move? I was gonna say rook takes e5 and queen here, but black can go back. Oh, sorry. Queen b4, king e8. Actually, there's this funny idea, but okay, it's not good, but it's just like if you give this check and you think you can do this and attack from the other side, don't. Don't, because knight of 3 happens anyways. And if you take with the queen, obviously you lose. And you take with the pawn and you think, oh, I just want a piece. Nope, you did not. You did not win a piece. I think I've had enough of this discovery. I'm playing rook e3. That's my move. Prophylaxis. No more discovery. Done. I said stop to the knight of 3 idea. Just rook e3. Let's go. We're done. We're done with the discovered check. And now all we have to do is just attack the knight. We're gonna win it next. Because you can't move it. You're pinned. And then next move we can play queen c3 and just win. Prophylaxis. Okay, if you want queen b4, especially for you, Bishop Stars, I will play that move, especially for you. Sure. Okay, fine. Especially for you, I'll make that move first, then I'll play rook e3. That way, dream team. That's the team spirit. Okay. So, okay, white did not do that. White. Queen c3 not to allow. At least the good thing about this is that the rook cannot go to e7. You can't take your own king, and you cannot go there because I'll take it because the queen is protected. So at least that is a thing. I think black should have probably played here anyways, because I don't think you're gonna lose this with queens on the board. But without queens on the board, the white will create a passed pawn and you won't. So yeah, this should be winning for white. Okay, you have to be careful how you're gonna do it. That was not a good, wise decision. Now, white probably should go for g4 or something. g4, h4, and then these pawns will be set this way. This is very important, so the black cannot create a passed pawn. It's very important. And then you just create your passed pawn there and you win. Okay, this gives black a lot of counterplay. What? Sad. You have to make sure that the opponent does not get the pawn. This is too slow. This is too slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Black starts first, so black promotes first, and you'll not promote. Wait. Wait, he went back to g5? What is he doing? I feel like even this would work. Maybe not. This. Probably not, because black has too many pawns there. Yeah, this is not gonna work. Even if we promote first here, because black has too many pawns on that side of the board, this will be winning. Yeah, definitely for black. Oh my goodness. I feel for white. They were so winning. Grayson will not be happy. Yeah, but also going back and forth is just not helpful. He probably realized that it's too... Yeah, but now it's too late. Because now you don't even promote. You lose that pawn and then that's capture. Wait, he's still playing? Oh. This is sad. The result didn't show yet, but this is... I feel sad. This is a very sad moment. Oh my goodness, it's already 4:20? When did the time pass? Guys, when did the time pass? I was supposed to be off at 4. I'm never off. I misjudged the situation, and I need to be back at 5:30. Do I leave or do I stay? Should I stay or should I go? Which one do you guys choose? Probably stay, I'm sure. No, no, I feel sad for Nico. But he did mess up here. I don't know why he didn't take the pawn. He's probably not happy. Why is he never taking this pawn? It's just a free pawn. I don't understand. Why has he never taken the pawn, Nico? I don't get it. Why not rook a7? Like, he had a problem with taking that pawn. Like, I just don't understand. Maybe even this would have been good. But no, because queen takes and it's with tempo to that rook. This is a tough loss for Nico. What did Brew do? Oh, sorry. This is the current position. Brew is trying to outplay his opponents. He's doing a bit better with time, so he has some chances. This looks like game over soon. Where is that game of Tani? I want to see what Tani did. Uh-oh, this is not looking good for Megan. This looks a bit scary. She has some threats though. Here, takes and check and... Can I play here? Not quite sure how you defend. So Tanya has found some activity, but not the way I suggested. Wait, this move gives up all the advantage? Black to move and win? No, this maybe allows... Maybe some defensive resources like this. So we need to be as forcing as possible. Rook g4, what? Here? Yeah, I was thinking about it. So here after king h5, rook g4. I was thinking about it, and then if he takes, you have check, and if he goes there, mate. If he goes to h5, mate. Yeah. It's just like, I guess white can take. White can take, and then I think they take there. No, not that. Not that. You have rook c5. Maybe rook c1? No. Yeah, maybe rook c1. Or maybe rook f1. Or a2, rook a2. No, c1, f1. What is the move you're searching? g6. No, king g4, that was mate. That was right. Ah, now king g4. Oh, you're right. Yeah, I'm silly. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Now I don't have that check, so I have to give this check. But then maybe white survives. So maybe I have to... I can't even go rook here. Somehow, I guess white survives by the thread. But wait, so rook takes g4 doesn't work, but there's something there. What about king h8? No, prophylactic doesn't work. You gotta move fast. And rook c6, there's queen e8 mate. What about rook f8? This is what I would want, but probably something like this. But then I take. What is black's winning idea here? Queen g2. Can't I just protect? Queen b6. Did we look at queen b6? I think so, right? That's what he played. Ah, that's what he played. So queen b6 is what he played, but there's something that makes black have a winning chance here. Ah, I have an idea. So in this position, what about this? No, still not. I was trying to mate. Trying to find all the places where you can mate. Is there a difference if we go here? No, probably. It's because f5. And escapes. Yeah, we already looked at that. What about rook f6? No. I wish I could play rook c6, but we cannot. Queen g2 here. This move never works. So I think they always bring in that rook. Okay, this is weird, but let's check. I was gonna say this, but king takes. What is the winning idea for black? So if we protect, I wish we had a way to just play like h6 or something and, you know, king h7, but we don't have time neither here nor here, you know, because the rook is just always hanging. We don't really have a way to d6, but then what's the... Ah, then you have rook c5. Oh, so maybe you just do it here. That's a great way to get rid of the queen. Nice find. A rip, a check. Yeah, because this will be the end of it. There's something else probably here, but yeah, you're right. That is pretty good. D6 is pretty good. And this is unstoppable. So what happened in the game? He played. Now he's thinking, but now he can't get on that. And d5 is hanging. So obviously he has to give the check. But once he does, the king goes to g5 and he will try to escape through here. Now you gotta protect that pawn. Maybe you do this. Rook d1. Covers, attacks. It's getting much more difficult. You're right. d6, very nice find, me. No, this game, hi, Shadows. I've never seen Tani play Nationals. No, he did play. He did play. He did. Joseph and Jack, yes. He doesn't play? I mean... Well, this game is intense. It's very intense. These games are so intense today. Like, this round is... He told you he doesn't play normally? So why did not go for F6 yet? It is a stressful time control. I agree. I agree. Next round for everyone starts at 6 p.m. and I should be back around 5:30, guys. I think you guys have the opportunity to follow the games. If I don't take a break now, I won't be able to take a break later. So I'm thinking to stop the stream for now, to rest a little bit, and then I'll be back at around 5:30. That's in about an hour. The stream's been going on for 3 hours, and we had another one in the morning that also went quite long, and we have one final round which is very important. The closer we get to the finish line, the more important and exciting the games become. So I'll definitely, when I get back, I'll definitely catch you on the endings of some of these games. So it's certainly something that I want to do. Yeah, unfortunately Nico lost, Shadow, so I don't know. It was a tough game. Brew is still playing that game. Nico lost this one. Looks like Eric won here with some mate. Still being played. White's on the way to win that one. Oh, White did not find this move F6. This seals the deal quite fast. Black is drawing this? Wow. This is impressive. Yeah, this is kind of impressive that this game might end in a draw. Wait. Wait, what? I mean, we just... There's no way for White to win this. Unfortunately. Jordan's played really well to be able to draw. Yeah, sure, they might play on. That game will be back and see what's happening there. Let's see in the middle school what's been going on. So Brian had... Oh, yeah, actually... Ooh, this is a nice win. But G4 did not play. G4 was played. Wait. We were... What? No way. After Bishop C8, why did not go for Queen H5? I'm disappointed. I think he did not see my brilliant idea. After G4, This was my brilliant idea. First bishop h6 with tempo, and then rook f5. This is just rook e8, rook d8. This is like, oh, this is brilliant. So maybe Brian may not win this, or maybe he will. We don't know. Okay, now he's better again. Okay, maybe he will win this. But queen h5 was definitely the move to play in that position. Okay, this is cute finish, bishop c6. But okay, white is doing better, but it's a cute finish there. This game finished in a draw. They're still playing here, but white looks crushing. Yeah, d6 probably. Actually, do we have some sacrifices here? Do we have this move? It's probably crushing even more. Takes, and what's the best move too? Maybe we just come back knight g5. It's not easy for black to defend this one. Okay, white's up a piece. This looks nice for white for sure. Tariq won. Oh my god, that's a brilliant mate. White's winning. Oh my, white's losing, sorry. This is that endgame or which? No, this is a different endgame. Still was quite lost for white for a while. Oh, that's tough. Oh no, Stella got mated. Wait, there were no moves. Ah, they just didn't show. Okay, Lev won again. Very nice win. Wait, so black did play that move knight g7. Black found it, right? That was the only move because this was a blunder. We mentioned rook f7 and black was... So after this move, rook f6, white found it. h3, rook f7, okay. Rook f6, oh, he was just sitting. So maybe... I have the feeling that somehow in this position, white needs to look for a stalemate or something. Not sure how, but... It's not easy. Can we just sit? Probably not. Definitely not like that. If only we could move the queen and play g6. No, this loses. It's not easy to find the move for white here. Ah, maybe rook f3. To take? No, rook f8. Ah, maybe rook f5. But still, this will offer some... Not there, here. So it wasn't as easy as we thought here for white. Okay. That's tough. Sasha was a bit in trouble, but maybe he's not anymore. There was knight d3 was the best move, I thought, for white in this position to trade the knight, but it was not found by white. And knight d3 has to be played at some point. Okay. White's king is not safe. I mean, if I were black, I would consider playing this at some point. Maybe bring the queen first. Something like this, okay. Celine is doing well. White won this one. Oh, this is a cute... Oh, such a cute finish. Okay, white is doing great, but still. Like, look at this. Look at this. Oh, takes. This was the endgame that was What? I thought black should win this. Black has the further away pass pawn. No! Black! What did you do? What did you do? B6 also doesn't work. So b5 or b6, you need to focus on this side of the board. You need to figure out how you're gonna create your passed pawns here. Right? So like if you go, for example, f5 and I take and you take, if I take, you think that this is an issue because, you know, I got my pawns, but you're not entering in the box of this pawn that I'm about to create. Like that's one, but also I can also create the h1 and you're not. So you play f6, I go here, I make sure I'm in the box and you cannot progress further. And black is winning. That is the winning idea. How it's what? No, king d6, king d6. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is sad. Well, black fought till the end. You guys were right, fighting till the end. That's what I always say. It happens. It happens. And the pawn promotes. Wow. Okay, guys, I need to take a break. I should be back in about 40 minutes, so I better relax for a little bit. Please stay close.